Hey Taurus, this is Zahara Stars with Illum Astrology giving you your March 2018 Astro Weather Forecast. Well, March is another blue moon month. We're having two full moons in the same month. One on the 1st, the full moon that's going to take place that takes place in Virgo. And then on the 31st, there's going to be another full moon in Libra. These are going to be accenting, particular areas within everybody's individual chart, but specifically for you, it will be in your 4th house of home, family, and heritage and early childhood and your living location, along with your 5th house of love and romance and creativity and self-expression. So there's going to be a lot of energy put into this, a lot of, there's going to be new flow of energy, kicking off, issues at home. Things can come to light with full moons, with family members, with home, with location. You could suddenly decide, I think I want to move. I think I want to redo the paint. I think I want to, whatever it is at home, or I want to spend more time with my family, or something can come to, illumination within that area. And the same thing goes for your love life, your house of children, your house of creativity, and all that. Having the second full moon to kick off that area where things can come to light as well. Decisions can be made. You can make a decision on something during the full moon because it's an illumination of the situation, and you feel things strongly and you kind of decide whether or not you want it or not, or what you want, or how you feel about a particular situation. And this is both happening in your 4th house of home and family, and also your 5th house of love, romance, and children, and creative self-expression. Also, like confidence and being bold, dynamic. It's the 5th house of Leo, but it will be in Virgo for you. So it's definitely, these are two really positive houses to have two full moons where you can really realize, figure out some stuff, make some decisions, get information that maybe you didn't know about previous to, and these can all vary. Aside from the two blue moons, we're also going to have Mercury turn retrograde and Jupiter both this month. Jupiter is going to be first. It's going to turn retrograde on the 8th in Scorpio. And then Mercury is going to follow on the 22nd in Aries, and we're also going to have a new moon in Pisces. So there's a lot happening for you guys in terms of secrets being revealed, things in the subconscious, dreams, letting go of old, attachments, fears, anxieties, learning about what's what could be holding you back, our irrational fears, our fears and the things that scare us or frighten us, all this stuff, having the Mercury retrograde in your 12th house of this area, we already go introspective, okay? We start thinking about things heavily. So in the 12th house, it's all about these hidden matters and these things that, it's the house of self-undoing, but it's also dreamy, mystical, and all that stuff too, but it's a good time to dive deep into our subconscious and release old patterns and things that, nowadays we're always talking about how our thoughts manifest. And so having planets transit the 12th house of our subconscious mind, or how our subconscious manifests, is really powerful because it shows us these things so that way we can change them and start changing our outcomes. So having Mercury retrograde in your 12th house is going to be really fascinating for you guys. I'm sure you're going to uncover a lot of things. You're going to make some realizations. Some things that were hidden will become unhidden, even your own awareness of them. So that's what's going to happen with Mercury retrograde there. But Jupiter is going to be turning retrograde in Scorpio, your opposite sign. So this is actually your house of partnerships, relationships, marriage, okay? And Jupiter turns retrograde on the 8th, and it's going to revisit these areas. This is also a karmic time where you reap the rewards of the seeds you planted. So if you started a relationship and things went wrong, if you were beginning a relationship or whatever and something happened to, something went wrong or you're no longer in contact or whatever, this person or these people can come back. Retrogrades are always time periods where we revisit, and people from the past, opportunities opportunities from the past, things from the past, issues that we need to revisit and fix. Whatever the area is, it's about revisiting, redoing, and going back. So in your 7th house of relationships and marriage partners, it comes across in many different ways. You can develop new relationships. People that were karmically meant to cross your path can cross your path now. When Jupiter turns retrograde, you can reconnect with an ex-partner, or, doesn't mean you have to go back to it, but you can find that if you have an ex-husband, suddenly he's in contact, or an ex-partner, business partnership, or a relationship that didn't really take off, or ex-friendships, any close associations, Jupiter's going to review that area. You're going to get to go back and fix things, change things, or let them go. Whatever it is that you decide, that's what Jupiter retrograde is going to be for you guys. So there's a lot that can happen. If you're single, you can meet somebody that you're supposed to meet, that you're destined or fated to meet. These are fated times too when there's retrogrades. You can go back to a relationship. You have a second chance to fix a relationship. Any type of relationships. This does not have to just be a husband or a lover, or, it can be a best friend. It can be an old business partner, but these are all included, so there's going to be a lot of revisiting, other opportunities to reconnect. Now, does this mean that everybody that's waiting for an ex-partner with Jupiter in the 7th house, that person is going to come back? No, but it is one of the strongest points in time for it to happen, along with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde in itself does that. But for those of you that could care less about an ex and want to just move forward with something else, or that are looking for business partnerships, or might be changing companies to where you're working with different people, you can expand your network. You're going to expand your network. You're going to meet new people, okay, with Jupiter retrograding. There's going to be new people that you're going to solidify relationships that you're going to move forward with in the future, or you're going to change how you move forward with them in the future. That's what the retrogrades are about, So you're going to be doing some subconscious, taking out the garbage, taking out the trash, realizing things, definitely realizing things with Mercury retrograde in your 12th. Learning things about yourself, hidden talents, hidden things, things that are going to help you release and move forward. So that way, when Mercury moves into your 1st house, you're ready to go. You're active again. You're all, ready to go. But Jupiter retrograde is going to be longer than Mercury retrograde. And so this is going to be a build-up period for you guys in terms of relationships, revisiting them, reevaluating them, expanding your networks, reaping the rewards from seeds planted previous to the retrograde. So if you're in sales and you're going after businesses, when Jupiter turns retrograde, these people can contact you and say now they're now ready to move forward. And that might be a process, and everything might get moving when Mercury goes direct. But yes, the retrograde periods are harvesting periods, harvesting for efforts put out, and also for revisiting and going back and trying to make things better if at all possible. On the 2nd of March, Mercury is going to trine Jupiter in Scorpio, and this will be happening in your 11th house of friends and your 7th house of romantic relationships, marriage, partnerships, and all of that. So you could definitely get some good news regarding a partner, or it's a good day to plan anything romantic, because, it's also going to be about communicating as well. So Jupiter, whenever Jupiter's always about expansion, positivity, luck, and abundance, and when it's with Mercury, it's usually a positive message in a trine is luck and luck, lucky and fortunate circumstances. So look out for that and see what happens for you specifically there. Something in the friendship house, something in a relationship partnership or with a friend, some good news or benefits to be coming from that area. And on the 4th of March, Mercury is going to conjunct Venus in Pisces. And this is your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, and also humanitarian efforts and, the house of the people. So it's usually a social time, and it's a good time to have some soft, make-up conversations with friends, or to talk about spiritual matters or things like that. You might be feeling nostalgic, really sensitive, We're hypersensitized with Neptune, and Venus tends to be, all about love and romance and things that bring us pleasure. So Venus in Pisces can be very, we're in a dreamy state where we're just fantasizing about those things that we want. And in your 11th house of friends, it's just a good time, to help a friend or to do something nice for them or to think of them and let them know that you're thinking of them. But it's also for any romantic endeavors because Venus rules over all that. And Venus in Pisces, is all about expressing unconditional love or appreciation and stuff like that. And on the 6th, Mercury is going to move into Aries. So this is previous to Mercury turning retrograde. This is your 12th house. So this is where we get kind of lost in the mist. Things can feel elated, highly spiritual. There's a fog kind of going around everything you see. The 12th house can be a house of yearning and feeling mystical and magical, and it's not really the best house for focusing and concentration. But it is a good time, like I said, anytime planets are going through the 12th house, to definitely understand yourself better, to unlock hidden dimensions of yourself, to learn new things about about the way that you handle things on a subconscious level. So this is going to be really helpful. It's a very spiritual time, good time to do metaphysical stuff, spiritual stuff. A lot of people sometimes want to retreat, when planets are transiting the 12th house, or you can end up going somewhere like a spiritual place or yoga or an outlet of some sort of, or you can end up taking a little trip away to a lake, where there's water, or, you just really want to feel comfortable. So if you end up staying at home, you're going to be very comfortable in your own surroundings while Mercury is transiting here. And then when Mercury turns retrograde, that's when you're going to really start rehashing, digging up stuff, discovering stuff, a lot of illuminations coming about, when that happens. But you're going to start noticing it on the 6th because that's when Mercury is going to move into Aries. And it's going to be, quite a different change from Pisces, because Pisces is, with all the planets transiting there, we tend to be very, things move slow. They're kind of just drowning away. And Aries is a much more, dynamic sign that's about courage and taking action and just do it. So you might have an overactive mind, with all these planets going on in your 12th house of Aries. You might be thinking about a lot of stuff, but this is good because this means you can let go of some things, clean house, and move forward. These are things that need to be addressed or need to be seen, and why this transit is really good for doing this. So on the 8th, Jupiter is going to turn retrograde. So I spoke a little bit about that already, but just to mark your calendar, on the 8th, Jupiter turns retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. So, it's an awesome time for anybody that's single to find a partner, for sure. And anybody that's looking for business partners or to increase their business. It's definitely going to happen this year with Jupiter transiting there. During the retrograde period, there are going to be fated and karmic times coming to you and times to revisit. But once it goes direct again, you're going to be expanding your network. Okay, it's very, close friend house. You'll be spending time with friends, and friends will be supportive of you and all that stuff. So it's really awesome. On the 11th, Mercury is going to square Saturn. So this is the only day. Well, actually, there's 2 days that are kind of like, just be mindful. Okay. It's the 11th because Mercury is going to square Saturn, while Mars is trine Uranus, and this energy I'm going to explain in a second. But the next day is also, on the 23rd, when Venus in Aries is going to square Pluto. Okay. Because these are just really strong energies, and, and also Venus is going to, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to have Venus square Saturn, but I think that was last month. I apologize. I'm looking at it now to confirm, so I'm giving you guys accurate information. Okay, so anyway, when Venus, yes, it does. I was right. Okay, so on the 13th, Venus in Aries is going to square Saturn in Capricorn. Okay, so these 2 days, when Mercury, the 11th and the 13th, Actually, the 11th, 12th, and the 13th. And even the 14th, because it's still going to be an aspect. So those are the only days, the 11th through the 14th, that I wouldn't try to schedule anything that requires diplomacy, tact, or something that's a sensitive topic or subject. Okay, when Mercury is square Saturn, we can be doubtful, we can be negative. It's just not a good. We're critical of ourselves, and sometimes we won't really want to speak up or say what we feel, out of criticism, fear of criticism, or whatnot. But we can just feel blocked from our communication. And on that day, Mars is going to be trine Uranus. So this energy is like, it's like a reserved, but I got to break free and go, because Mars is in Sagittarius and Aries is the warrior planet. And Uranus is all about sudden, don't think about it, action. So when it comes to Mars, it's like you're going to want to go do something crazy or just take that initiative. But then Mercury square Saturn is going to make you doubt yourself, or probably talk you out of it. Okay. But if not, you can end up feeling like, you can feel a lot of pressure that day. So I just wouldn't schedule anything that takes, that's important, that you should, that might take a little diplomacy and tact, or being able to think things through more. And also because, and also on the 13th, because Venus in Aries is going to square Saturn, and we're just cut off from our diplomacy and what other people think, and our tact and our ability to say things non-offensively. So you can get into arguments because you just want to, you see things for what they are, I guess, and you can see the more negative side, so you can find yourself frustrated and just not usually we're not really, when Venus is square Saturn, we're not really in the best of moods. And we can be problematic and we can cause problems. And if you're in a relationship that day, you might be picking on your partner or finding things wrong, because you're going to start seeing things, with Saturn's, criticism. So those 2 days, I would be a little bit skeptical about, and just be mindful of the fact that that's what's going on, so you don't end up, jumping the gun, making a decision and ending a relationship, or just doing something erratic for the spur of the moment. And also on the 23rd, because when Venus is in Aries, compulsive energy already, square Pluto, about control, power, and, domination. This is a very intense energy, even though it's in Capricorn, but this is kind of like an all or nothing energy. So on this day, you may see things that are wrong in your life, Venus included, like relationships, friendships, women. You could suddenly be like, I'm tired of taking this crap, because Pluto is all about getting your way, and tired of taking crap, and stand up for yourself, defend yourself, and stuff. But we can act irrationally, and especially when Venus is in Aries and square Pluto. So just think things through. Don't make any decisions on these days, okay? Don't negate your feelings. They're valid, Sometimes it's good to get out of situations that are holding us back, or people that are no good for us, or whatever the situation might be regarding with Venus. But just on these days, the 11th through the 23rd, I wouldn't make any major decisions. If you have to, hey, you have to. The good thing is Mercury square Saturn, so that means you're going to think it through. Okay, so that's okay. On the 11th through the 13th or 14th, actually, would be fine. Just not specifically on the, the 11th through the 12th, not specifically on the 13th or the 23rd. Okay, and then, yes, Mars is going to enter Capricorn, and there's going to be a new moon in Pisces on the 17th. And so Mars, moving into Capricorn is quite different from Sagittarius. It's more focused, determined energy. And it's a good energy to get things done, be more pragmatic in our approach. It's not going to be as abundant and spontaneous as it was in Sagittarius of just do it and take risks. Capricorn's more about, what is the right thing to do? What will people think? What works for the rest of the people? You got to be politically correct, all that stuff. So, and that's going to be in your 10th house of career. Okay, I'm sorry. It's going to be in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, long distance travel, learning new things, expanding your horizons, politics, religion, and this is a good time to put energy. You'll probably put energy into researching with Mars transiting there. So it seems like it's going to be a spiritual month for you guys, but there's gonna be I can see somebody meeting a very spiritual relationship if you're single, that can come about. But long term, Jupiter's all about expanding your relationships and your partnerships, including love relationships. But this month is going to be kind of slowing down because you got planets moving into your 12th house, with Mercury going to go retrograde there, and Venus, Venus going to be there. And then, Mars moving into the 9th house of higher learning, philosophy, spirituality, governments, legal situations, legal stuff, courts, but really about higher learning, expanding your horizons and stuff, and even travel, going somewhere, taking a vacation. Some of you might take a nice vacation away from it all this month. Probably in the second half of the month, and then on through the first part of April. So the new moon that's going to happen in Pisces on the 17th is in your 11th house of friends too. So that's going to open up some doors there. It's going to get activity going. Some of you might find out something about a friend, okay? And this could be very positive, or it could be something maybe that you didn't want to hear. It goes both ways. However, it's going to activate your friendship house. So you can be very busy. You can make new friends. You can be cleaning house with friends. You can get rid of a friend, gain a new friend. But definitely you got some stuff going on with friendships, expanding your groups. You can even become part of a new group or sign up for a new, being on some sort of new initiation of some sort with a group. You can start to, expand your network. Start to spend more time with your friends. That's definitely going to be triggered for you guys. So March looks like a really good month. I mean, it's going to be rather peaceful and kind of interesting, definitely. Once Jupiter goes retrograde and once Mercury goes retrograde, but Mercury's not going retrograde till later in the month. So on the 22nd. So, during that time period, you're going to start feeling like you're internalizing a lot, and you're going to start, you're going to make some really big revelations, and you're going to understand some things going to get uncovered. You're going to uncover some things. Okay. You're going to uncover a lot of things about yourself. But then you're going to be ready to go, and you're going to feel like you let go of some baggage for sure. Okay. And then you're going to be expanding, you're going to research, you're going to want to get out there and expand your knowledge. You're probably going to want to spend some quiet time towards the end of the month. But overall, March looks like a really good month. There's nothing really, there's no concerns. It definitely looks like there's going to be a lot happening in your friendship houses, and, home and within the love area of your life as well. So yeah, it looks like March is going to be a great month. I'm happy to tell you guys this. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you would like your own personal reading, you can always go to my site at www.illumastrology.blogspot.com. Or if you already found me on my site, then great. And if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get all my latest. I'm going to be doing forecast for all the signs, but also I'm going to do another updated March 2018 that's going to cover a little bit more of the details about more that's coming. And then also don't forget to check back for April 2018. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fantastic month.